Alright, welcome to another episode of Soto Desperado plays Skyrim and listens to people bitching about this and that and the other thing. But seriously, a lot of these experiences are important. You can base your viewpoint on the experiences and the testimonies of other people, whether it be esoteric knowledge or financial knowledge or just social experiences, trends that people have noticed that maybe you didn't notice. And so that's the purpose of the series of videos. I'm just reviewing certain things. Now, things that don't have any graphics, I'll look at on this system. But if it has like visuals and stuff, I'll try to switch over. But I am playing a video game at the same time, so it's hard to do that. And but I try, you know. So let's go back here. And let's take a look. This guy, Car Questions Answered. I'm subscribed to this guy. He has the inside of the car market, used car market. And it says, inside the car market collapse, CarMax crisis. Let's see what he's got to say.
Pre-repo, pre-repo, pre-repo. So the car market is absolutely collapsing and delinquencies, repos are on their way up. I'm here at CarMax today because they're invested in every single part of this car market. They have tons and tons and tons of inventory that's going down in value every single day because we know that the car market has absolutely been cratering. And who is in the middle of all this? Well, it's CarMax. The reason why I want to be here is because we need to talk about all the headwinds that CarMax is facing. We're gonna go through, see some of these prices. All right, check it out. Here's our Ford Maverick sighting. It's a hard thing to find on Ford dealership lots, but it seems like CarMax always has one of these Mavericks for sale. This is a 2022 Ford Maverick XL. They're selling it for $25,000. It's got 21,000 miles on it. And really, I want to dissect, okay, the new car market's bad. We've seen that from all the earnings reports from these manufacturers.
By the way, been a brutal week for the automakers' stocks.
But we also know that that is helping to crater the used car market. These dealers aren't helping anything, and really, prices have to come down. All right, so let's check out this Tacoma here. So I love the color on it, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a 2016, and it's still $35,000. And it's got 45,000 miles on it. That's absolutely ridiculous for a used truck that's that old and has that many miles. Still $35,000. This Tahoe is $58,000. So a big portion of CarMax's customers that are coming in and getting loans, they're actually subprime borrowers. All right, so check this out. There are consumers coming to CarMax and paying 23% interest on their vehicle loans. So stuff like this, that's $60,000 for this car, they're not going to get approved. It doesn't matter if it's at CarMax, anywhere else. So the problem is that a lot of those consumers that are coming in, it's going to be very hard for them to buy something like that. And that's going to be one big headwind for CarMax, because the people who were able to buy vehicles that were $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 back 2 years ago, now they can't buy those kind of vehicles. We're seeing the higher end of the market really get squeezed because people just can't get loans for this stuff. And CarMax, if they got them sitting on their lot, that's a big headwind. And I bet anything Stellantis has really been a thorn in CarMax's side. You got Ram trucks sitting over here, you got these Jeeps over here, you got some more Cherokees down here. But because we've seen that Jeep has not been able to sell vehicles, because Ram has not been able to sell vehicles, because Stellantis as a company has been really failing, their prices have had to come down because there's an oversupply. So I really bet CarMax has hated what Stellantis has done. This one's $32,000. It's a 2021. But the problem is it's not getting any better at Jeep, Dodge, Ram. So this is going to be a problem that CarMax has to deal with. It's nothing to do with them, but they have to deal with it because Jeep, Dodge, and Ram is sucking so bad that their prices have to plummet. And if that happens, then CarMax's used Stellantis products also have to plummet. All right, so let's look at this truck right here. Now this is actually a headwind for CarMax. So you see this Tundra right here, there are tons of Tundras sitting all across the market in the US right now on dealer lots. They're having a hard time at Toyota actually moving these Tundras. Yes, even Toyota, one of the most sought after brands that exist right now, they still have a problem selling these big trucks. So here's the problem for CarMax. When CarMax is selling this one, this is a 2022 Tundra SR5, they're selling it for $41,000. But here's the problem. When these new car dealerships can't sell them on their lots and they're having a hard time actually moving them, they have to push the prices down. when they push the prices down of the new Tundras on their lot, it forces the used prices of these Tundras to come down. And what does CarMax have? They have used Tundras. And this is going to be an ongoing theme for CarMax right now as new vehicles get cheaper, as dealers feel more pinched to push down prices. It's going to force CarMax to be competitive with them, so they have to lower the prices of their vehicles. So these Mazdas are super hot right now. We're seeing the Mazda selling a ton of these things, but I want to see what CarMax is trying to sell them for. So this is a 2022 Mazda CX-5. It's $23,000, and this one's got 30,000 miles on it. But we're seeing that Mazda's doing a really good job on it, and it looks like CarMax is trying to load up on them as well. All right, I always want to check 4Runners. We've got 4 right here. All right, let's go rapid prices. All right, 2013 limited, $27,000, has 100,000 miles. This one doesn't have a price. I guess it's free. All right, this one's a 2023 limited, $49,000. It only wait a minute. Whoa. Okay, we got to slow down. It's only got 1,000 miles. So 2023, 1,000 miles, used, barely, $49,000. So how does this happen? Well, most likely you're going to have another dealership that needs to get rid of a vehicle. They sold it to CarMax. There are a few other scenarios. You can have a customer that buys one and then shows it to CarMax. They got a good deal from the actual new car dealership, and they take it to CarMax, and CarMax actually offers them more than what they paid for it from the dealership. Very rare for that situation to actually happen, but if you find something that's in high demand, 4Runners, you can argue in some areas maybe they are in high demand, some areas they're not. I know locally here around the dealerships I've been checking, the 4Runners everywhere. So that's probably not the case. I would assume this came from another dealer. They needed to get off their floor plan. They needed to roll it. It's a 2023. Maybe they had it just sitting around from last year, needed to get rid of it, so they dumped it to CarMax. That's probably what happened. If I had to guess, that's what I would say. So another thing that CarMax has done recently is actually lowered the amount of vehicles that they're buying from consumers. And it might not be CarMax's design to do that. It might be that the consumers, when they come in and get values on their cars, they might be saying no, because what CarMax has known over the last couple quarters is that the used car values are going down. So what does that lead them to do? That leads them to offer less on these cars. Wow, check this out. These 4 Land Rovers here, they look like they're brand new. Let's check it out. Not brand new. It's a 2020 Land Rover Defender, 38,000 miles, $51,000. And CarMax offering way less for these cars that are coming in really makes sense. What do we know? On the wholesale side, car values have absolutely plummeted. So why would CarMax offer a premium amount for cars that they're going to sit out here and may not be able to sell? No, they're going to try to be as smart as they can and be as cheaply in these cars as possible, because they know that they have a rough road ahead. They know it's becoming more difficult to actually sell these cars. So they have to basically steal them if they're going to buy them. All right, so I just want to show you an example of some of these prices actually coming down. This is a 2022 Dodge Charger, and they're selling it for $23,000. It's got 34,000 miles. I can tell you, I can guarantee you that about 6 months ago, this same car was going to be about $28,000, and now they're selling it for $23,000. So what CarMax has said in previous quarters is that they wanted to keep their prices high. This was by design. They worked out the pricing models, whatever. If they keep the prices higher, they actually work themselves out better than doing the volume game by slashing prices and actually selling more vehicles. But what they found out in this last quarter, okay, the quarter wasn't great, and now they've started to lower their prices. So I said this a while ago, but I didn't think that pricing model of keeping your prices high, keeping your margins high was really going to work, because the customer is just so weak. Now CarMax is figuring out they have to lower their prices to be able to move some vehicles. And I can actually already see some examples on this lot of where, okay, I can see what they were charging for these cars about 6 months ago, and now they are drastically lower. Whether they're buying them cheaper now or they're actually lowering their prices on their lot, either way, prices are coming down here at this CarMax lot. But right here, this is something that you can't find new right now, and I know because I recently tried to go find one. And I want to see the price on this, because they can still charge an outrageous amount for it. This is a 2021 Sienna Hybrid XLE, $50,000. $50,000. Well, 48. It's close enough to $50,000. And it's got 27,000 miles. And I know that we just went and looked at a new one. We would have to be put on a wait list, but we could get one brand new right at like $48,000, $49,000 for the one that we were looking at. Now we have to pay dealer fees and all that BS too. But still, that's really close to a brand new price on that Sienna. Absolutely insane. All right, check this out. I've actually never seen one of these. Here we go. It's that at $63,000. It's got 29,000 miles. I wonder if I can open it. Can't open it, can't open it. This is pretty cool though. Oh, look how low it is. All right, now here is our EV section. So since I've been looking at a lot of these EVs lately, I actually know what the price points should be on a lot of these. So this one right here is one that I currently have, that I bought. It's a 2019 Model 3 Standard Range Plus, exact same what I have. Mine has 80,000 miles, so not too far off of this. And I paid 17,000 something for mine, and they're selling theirs for $26,000. But they've got quite a few Teslas. So what we've known, and while we've seen prices drop, and why I was able to buy mine so cheaply, is because especially on the Model 3s, the used market's been absolutely hammered. So you have a couple things going on. You have Elon that's done price cut after price cut after price cut, trying to get people to buy these things. And then you have Hertz, which has dumped a ton of inventory into the market over the last 6 months or so. So that's further pushed the prices down. And why I think is the CarMax is going to have a hard time selling a lot of those Teslas, especially that one that's $26,000. Literally just because I know how much I paid for mine, and it was way cheaper than that. So I've been to CarMax a lot of times over the last year, and this is something that I haven't seen any time that I've actually been to one of these stores. And this is a big distributor store, so they take a lot of vehicles and they're able to move them out to other stores across the area. But this store is always slam packed with vehicles, and typically even on a row like this, they would have cars parked this way, blocking other vehicles in. So what we've seen is that CarMax, they've been really trying to buy fewer vehicles. And it might be an element that they're just offering people less money, so people are saying no. But it's a big tell to see what's happening right now here at CarMax, because CarMax knows that that vehicle prices are going down. So really, they don't want to buy into that. Maybe they might hold off for a couple quarters and just try to steal vehicles to put out here to sell. But they're not really wanting to be in the business right now of buying a ton of cars when they know that the prices are getting hammered. We just had reports come out from all these big manufacturers saying, oh, it's bad right now. We have dealerships turning down allocations. So they know on the new car side, prices going down, and that's going to force prices on the used car side going down. They know that the environment's tough. They know that loans are going bad. So guess what? They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay leaving some empty spaces at some of these CarMax car lots. And really, I think it's a good idea for them not to be just trying to buy every vehicle that they see. They need to be selective, and they need to pay less for their cars right now. That's the way that prices come down. But they might have a couple quarters where their volume's going to be way down. But if they're going that approach and trying to keep their prices down, not buying as many vehicles, yeah, it's going to be a few hard quarters, and probably going to be some downward pressure on their stock. But they're probably going to be better off in the long run if they can stick to that kind of model. All right, so here's a little Lexus NX300 S Sport. I actually really like the way these things look. This one is a 2020. It's got 59,000 miles, and it's 29 grand. And I love the way this thing looks. The front end looks bad. Everything's good. I like it. Now, even right now at a Ford dealership, you're having a hard time finding a Maverick. And here's another one right here. It's funny because it seems like every time I go to a Ford dealership, I can almost never find a Maverick. But if I come to CarMax, there's always a Maverick. But here's the thing, it's getting less and less that I'm going to these Ford dealerships and not finding a Maverick. So even on the flip side of that Toyota Tundra, you still have something that's highly desirable that dealers can actually move, but they're actually getting them. So this special commodity that CarMax has been able to have over the last 6-12 months, because they always have a Maverick and charge ridiculous prices for it because you can't find them anywhere, now you can actually find them. So they can't charge that ridiculous amount for these Mavericks. What I have even seen is that a lot of times if it was like a Maverick, so this Maverick brand new on a dealer lot is probably somewhere around $26,000. But what I was seeing is that these Mavericks that they would have that were used, that had 20,000 miles on them or so, they weren't charging $25,000 like what this one was for. They were selling it for $32,000, and guess what? They were selling them, but this one's a 2022 XL, so just the base model. You got the base wheels, everything like that. It's 21,000 miles, and they're selling for 25 grand. All right, this is actually something I haven't seen before, so we're gonna check it. It's a 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. It's $33,000. It's only got 9,000 miles. So what we're seeing with a lot of these EVs, especially if they're not named Tesla, is that people are getting them. They're finding out that either infrastructure is not great, maybe the technology is not as good as what they were anticipating. I'm not saying with Tesla, I'm saying with all the other manufacturers is what we're seeing a lot, and they're buying them, driving for a little bit, and like, you know what, it was fun, but it's not practical for what they're actually trying to use the car for. So we see a lot of these low mileage EVs get traded in. See a lot of Mach-E's with 5,000-6,000 miles sitting around at these lots because people they buy them, yeah, that's good, and they're ready for the next thing. All right, so here's a big problem for this car market and how the new and the used car markets kind of fight each other. So especially if you're looking at these Rams, these Dodges that a lot of these franchise dealers are trying to sell right now, they're having a very hard time. So what happens is on the new car side, they start adding incentives. They start taking money off of these brand new Rams at the dealership lot. And what does that do? Well, that pushes used car prices down. That pushes these truck prices down. So then that actually incentivizes, that makes these used trucks more enticing for a consumer. Instead of spending all that money on the new truck, then they'll come buy the used one. Well, because the used truck prices go down now that forces the new truck prices to go down some more, because now instead of buying that new truck, they're coming to buy the used truck. So now the new franchise dealers have to further incentivize people to buy their new trucks. So then in turn, that pushes used truck prices down again, because you hear it. So it's the new and the used car side of things. They're fighting for all the same customers. So the used prices have to go really cheap to get people to not buy the new cars. And then in turn, the new cars have to go down cheaper to be able to get some of these used buyers into new vehicles. It's a whole vicious cycle, and this is what the car market used to look like. It was all a volume game. It was all low margin game. You were trying to fight for all of these customers that are out there. And over the last few years, they haven't had to do that because there are so many customers and so few vehicles available that you can just charge whatever and customers will still buy it. We're not at that point anymore. This is what's hurting companies like CarMax and all your big three, your publicly traded company, your auto manufacturers, your franchise dealers. That is hurting everyone in the space, because pretty soon it's going to be a race to the bottom because there's so much supply and not enough consumers to buy up the vehicles that all these dealers, including CarMax, want to get rid of right now. They're having a harder time selling these bigger trucks, and the Tacoma, this is a Tundra, also go down. What is, and not enough.
Whoa, what happened? He was going on and on, then he stopped. Whoa. Oh, he finished. Okay. Well, sounds to me like they're fucking around with the prices as usual, trying to survive this situation. But you can't survive a situation like this because it's pretty much already been decided what's going to happen. You know what I mean? They're already going in a certain direction. I don't see how anything's going to change. All right. Okay. All right. I got to get up and do something. So, let me quick save. And I'm just looking for a wrap. I wasn't expecting to come here by myself in that dungeon. So what I'll do is I'll put something on so you can see it. And I'll come back. Oh, my neighbor committed suicide. I'm not going to do that one. No. That's too hot button. I decided not to get involved with that sort of thing because when I was younger, I wanted to kill myself because of all the abuse my mother did to me. And since then, I pretty much decided never ever to allow that again, no matter what. Even if I was in prison, I would never allow that. You need to pay off your debt. What's a good one? Let's see. I think I saw this one already. Let's see, it's got the red bar at the bottom. That means, yeah, so the truth about why more people are becoming homeless. But that shit happens to a lot of people, you know. Like I said, my multi-millionaire old boss was homeless, living out of his car, eating half a hot dog with his wife. What's this? Farzad Live. Why you need a social media detox. Oh, that's interesting. I'll try this gentleman again. So this gentleman, once again, is Chris Jobson, and why you need a social media detox. I'm going to take a moment, and I'll put him on. I'll be right back. All right.
What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me on this Sunday morning. Day after USA basketball gold. I'm not going to stop talking about that today. Not while I'm wearing these colors. But let's dive into the topic at hand, which is social media detoxing and why you need to do it. Social media is very popular. We all like it. But not everything that we like is good for us. And social media has proven time and time and time again to not be the best investment of one's time. You're likely spending way more time on social media than you should be. And I can say this because I too was like you. So it's not like I'm about to just beat up on you and be like, oh, you're a loser, you're dumping all your time into social media, you're not getting anything done. No, I'm not going to do that to you because I too was like you. But I've scaled back on it a great deal. Like, I hardly go on IG anymore when I kind of got hooked on IG. You know, here's a secret. I used to hate taking pictures, and you're probably thinking I'm lying my ass off. No, I used to hate taking pictures. So I wanted nothing to do with IG. People would recommend that I make an account, start posting, but I hated taking pictures. I made an account there finally after a few people twisted my arm, and I ended up really liking it. The taking pictures thing became really fun to me, so I kind of became addicted to it. But I was noticing I was trying to archive everything that I was doing. I tried to get a picture to archive it and post it on there, and the end result was I was spending more time and effort trying to archive the moments than living in the moment. And you may hear me say that and think, you've been doing the same thing. You're out doing this, you're at that place, you're at this concert, you're at Disneyland, and you're putting more effort, or more effort than you should, into archiving the experience instead of experiencing the experience. That's an issue that didn't exist before social media. Before social media, we just went out, we had fun, we did what we did with our friends and family. We got a few pictures in here and there because we had the Polaroids, or very popularly the disposable cameras. But it wasn't like it was now, where we got to take pictures of every damn thing. We got to record every damn thing. People, I mean, they be taking pictures of their meals even, you know. They're taking pictures of their Starbucks drinks. Like, what in the world? And this is just because of social media addiction. Ooh, that bus is loud. Goddamn. Did y'all hear that? That shit was super fucking loud. Excuse my French. I try to keep it PG for y'all. But sometimes you just you just got to go there. But before social media took off the way that it did, before it became as addicting as it is, people just lived in the moment. They lived the experiences. They weren't trying to take pictures of every little thing, record every little thing. What I found to be odd was when I would go back and look at stuff I recorded, and I felt like I was living the moment through the recording. And that was a very strange feeling to me because I was there. And I didn't remember it as well. Like, I remembered the moment, but it wasn't as vivid in my mind as it should have been for a person who was actually there. So watching it through a video, it felt like I was living it. I was living my own memories vicariously through my videos or through my pictures. And that's when I realized, like, I've gotten a little too addicted to IG and I need to kind of scale back on it. So I went on there, got rid of a bunch of pictures that were on there before, and I stopped posting on there. Like, I post on there 95% less than I used to. And I'm happier for it. So IG was my addiction. Which one is yours? Is it Twitter? Is it Facebook? Is it Snapchat? Which one of these social media, apps is the one that's got a hold on you like that? Or is it all of them? It could be multiple ones. It could be all of them. But it's not doing you any good. You're missing out on life. You're not living life because you're too busy trying to archive it. Let that sink in. You're missing out on life because instead of living in the moment, you're trying to archive the moment. Don't be like me and find yourself living vicariously through your own videos, through your own pictures, and you were there. When that really hit me and I realized that that's what was happening, I knew I had to scale that stuff back. I had to get off of that. Not to mention, not only that aspect, but the fact that social media is such a cesspool of negativity, and you don't need that. Now, again, this isn't me saying don't use social media at all. I'm saying you probably should scale it back. If you have an iPhone, you have on there what's called screen time. Many of you probably avoid looking on screen time because you're on those apps way more than you should. And you don't want bam in your face a number displayed of the hours that you're spending on it. And I know that feeling because I felt the same way. Now, if I look at screen time, I'm not scared. I haven't looked at it in a while, but if I were to look at it, I wouldn't be scared because I already know that I'm not on there like that. So it's not going to throw no number at me that I'm going to be embarrassed about and be ashamed to tell somebody about, because I already know that the number is going to be low. I'm not on IG nearly as much as I was before. Twitter, I go on there daily for a bit because I like to get sports news. All of the accounts that I follow on Twitter at the moment of this recording, they're all sports, Detroit sports, Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers, Lions, the DCFC, Detroit City Football Club. They're all that. So I go on there daily, but I don't stay on there because I just mostly go there to tap into the sports talk, and then I get off of there. So yeah, the main ones for me were IG, Facebook, and Twitter. Facebook, I just got completely off of. I just couldn't take it. I've never liked Facebook, honestly. I only was on Facebook because I had so many friends and family that were on there mostly. But the majority of my feed was trash. Yeah, I'm doing a vlog. What's up, fellas? How are y'all? Yeah, the majority of my friends and family, they were on there, but most of the stuff that would be in my feed would be total trash. Total trash. Just memes and a bunch of ridiculous misinformation being spread. People arguing about stupid stuff. One of the biggest turnoffs about Facebook was that people would believe stupid stuff so quickly. They would be so easily convinced of something that was completely wrong, but would fight you tooth and nail when you have the truth about something. So the meme that had total nonsense on it, they believe that instantly. But they want you to provide damn near trial evidence of the contrary. It's like, why do I have to work this hard to show you the truth about something when the thing that I'm showing you, it should just be common sense? Like, it shouldn't be this hard to talk to another rational, reasonable adult about something that makes sense.
They're not rational, reasonable
Facebook with
adults. What is that shit?
All of the goofy stuff, making stuff up, so much misinformation, so much toxicity, and I don't even like that word, but it fits in this case. I just couldn't be on there with that. The buses are particularly loud today, or is it just me? So get off of these social media apps, or at least get off of them the way that you have been on them, because chances are you are on one of these apps, if not several of these apps, way more than you should be. And if you're on those apps to that extent, you are not working on your purpose, which you should be. So the more time you're spending on those, the less time you're spending on your purpose, which is unacceptable. You should be spending as much time as you possibly can on your purpose. There's a time and there's a place to goof off and have fun, and by all means do so. But the ratio has to be right. You know, if you on top of your game, doing what you're supposed to do 80% of the time, then okay. Screw off that free time, you know, the other 20%. But it can't be the other way. It can't be 80% of your time is being spent doing totally non-productive stuff, and then you're only grinding 20% of the time, because you're never going to make any progress. So, appreciate you guys for listening to me. Leave me them comments. Like this video. Subscribe to me. Last time I checked, I was at 999 subscribers. I'm almost at 1,000. Y'all are nuts listening to me. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate y'all for real. Y'all are nuts. I may be a little off, but I don't think y'all are. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Leave me them comments. Y'all know I check them. I appreciate y'all as always. Appreciate you connecting with me. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
I'm not getting any of the things I need. I just need one more of these wraps. It's called a wrap. So I can make a cape. Just one. That's the only reason I'm here. Yeah, linen wrap. That's all I need. I need one of them. Anyway, the undead I was frying ran away. So what he's saying is that we're over apt and over social media, but that's where the internet led, was into social media. And it's inevitable. But the thing is, it's the illusion of a connection. It's the illusion of the connection. But the thing is, people are emulating the businesses they work for. They're emulating the corporations, and how, like I said before, they have you at arm's length all the time. They don't want to get close. The reason why the male-female relationship is dying is because there's nothing to relate with. It's not only, even if you have a man that has everything and a woman that has everything, they still have to get along, and they still have to be friends before they can be lovers. And they have to really be willing to sacrifice for each other and love each other for the rest of their lives. That is being degraded because everybody's being a selfish corporation. The good thing about being a selfish corporation is you'll survive. The bad thing is it contributes to the erosion of the culture. Everything is eroding for a reason. Let's see. This guy's got a lot of videos, doesn't he? How many videos do you have, dude? He's got quite a bit. How many subscribers? 1.2. Oh, he's getting there. 58 videos. He's doing good with 58 videos. Why you should save 10,000 ASAP? Shit, I can save $10. I'd be happy.
What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me today. I'm nearly done with all my steps today. The topic that we're going to talk about now is saving $10,000. Now, why $10,000? Well, I've had people ask me in relation to the videos I say about getting out of debt. I've had people ask me, well, what if you've already paid off your debt, or you're on the verge of paying off your debt? What do you do then? What do you do afterwards? Well, that's the next step. You want to save $10,000. Why $10,000? Well, $10,000 is enough money to where most surprise emergency expenses you'll be able to cover with no issues. If you have any situation with your vehicle, if, you know, an appliance or something goes out and you need to replace that, you know, like your mom or something needs a couple dollars because something happened with her, you know, just the majority of emergencies that could pop up that have an expense tied to them, you will easily be able to handle them if you have $10,000 saved up. Another thing about saving $10,000 is you will have developed the discipline necessary to continue saving. So not only do you have that money saved up for when you have emergencies, but you've developed the discipline necessary to stay the course with continuing to save and make other moves as you progress. There's also the peace of mind that comes along with having $10,000, because you're not broke. You're not wealthy by any means, but you're not broke. When you've got a few dollars, you know, squirreled away, it provides you with a sense of comfort. You're not broke. So even if you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck, not really. You're living paycheck to paycheck intentionally, because you're taking your paycheck, you're paying your bills, you're taking some money and you're squirreling that away, and you're using the rest of the money for, you know, maybe a few comforts here and there. You like your Netflix, you like to buy a couple games, you know. So even though by the time your next paycheck comes around, you're broke, you're not really though, because you've been putting money aside. So there is a comfort that comes along with that, knowing you really aren't broke. So when you have $10,000 saved away, in my opinion, that's the gateway to being able to do other things. If you've got a high yield savings account, you can have the $10,000 in there earning interest passively. You know, if you want to invest in index funds or EFTs, $10,000 to start with isn't bad. You know, of course, I'm going to tell you that even though I like index funds and EFTs, I'm not going to just say dump your money in there. I'm going to tell you, do your own research first. And then if it sounds good to you, which I believe that it will, watch a few YouTube videos of people that like are, you know, really into this sort of stuff, because I'm into it, but I'm not going to do as good of a job breaking it down as some of these other guys that do the finance channels. So I recommend you watch a few of those, really break down the way you go about investing into EFTs and why you should. Same thing with index funds, and make your decision from there. So even though I like them, I'm not going to just flat out tell you do it. You guys probably would do it anyway because you trust my word, but I still would prefer you arm yourself with this information and make a sound, informed decision rather than take my word for it. I appreciate that you trust my word enough to do it, but again, I like it better when you guys have the information yourself, when you're armed with that, and you can make sound, informed decisions. So $10,000, things really change for you. Again, as I said, it's not It's not FU money by any means. You're not rich by any means. But it does give you the first feeling of comfort of, hey, I'm not broke. I'm doing okay. Most people, according to the information, most people don't even have $1,000 in their savings account. So if you just had $1,000 saved up, you would already be ahead of most people right now. So if you have $10,000 saved up, you're really killing it, right? You are overachieving, you know, when you're comparing yourself to your average person. You're running circles around them. So I highly recommend that for those of you that aren't in debt, for those of you looking to make the next step, where do I go from here? Yes, save up $10,000. If you don't have $10,000, you need to really start working on that. And once you have that, then you can look into places to put it that are going to earn interest. And don't touch it if you can avoid touching it. The reason why I say don't touch it is because, let's say hypothetically you're investing in index funds. You put in, it earns interest. You put in some more, it earns interest. What ends up happening is not only does the principal earn interest, but the interest then begins to earn interest, which is called compound interest. And that's what you want. If you touch that money, the principal, and pull something out, what ends up happening is you throw off the compound interest. So you can lose potentially years worth of interest you would earn on this money by touching it prematurely. So the money's there, but you don't want to touch it. You whenever possible, you want to deal with the money you get from interest and not the principal. You want to avoid touching the principal by any means
I'm not finding
necessary.
what I need.
Now, if you got an emergency and you just somehow got to get liquid, you got to get the principal out or whatever, I hope that doesn't happen, but you do what you got to do. But realistically, you know, you want to be in a situation where you never ever touch the principal. So save up $10,000. That is where you go from here. If you've went ahead and paid off your debts, you don't owe any student loans, you don't owe any credit cards, and past doctor bills or whatever, those have already been cleared up. All of your debts are gone, and you're like, I'm really ready to start progressing my life forward. I'm really ready to start trying to, you know, grow my cash. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being stressed like I have no money and any surprise expense is gonna immediately put me deeper into debt. No, you want to set yourself up to where that's no longer your life. So save $10,000. Telling you, save $10,000. Get working on that. It's going to require you, especially if you're working with you know, limited funds, it's going to require you to scale some stuff back. It really is. It's going to require you to scale some stuff back. It's some spending that you're doing monthly, weekly, that you're going to have to eliminate. Only you know what that is. If you have like 6 streaming apps, maybe cut that in half, because when you're really trying to get this idea off of the ground, every dollar matters. It's not going to matter as much later, but when you're trying to get this off the ground, every dollar counts. So you really want to cut expenses wherever you can. Some people say, oh, that Starbucks coffee that you like so much to have every day, cut that out. I don't know about that, for the simple fact of, if that cup of Starbucks coffee truly makes you happy every day, it puts you in the mood to get out there and grind and do what you got to do and get stuff done or whatever, then you don't want to cut that out, you know, because then you are going to be less effective. If doing something like that has that type of positive effect on you, then no, you don't want to cut that out for the sake of saving money. You want to go to other things that are less important, that have less of an impact on you. You know, they don't affect your mood as much. Those are where you want to start cutting back. So get working on that. Save $10,000. You'll have a level of comfort from being able to look at your account and see that you've got 5 figures stored away. You'll have a level of comfort from the fact that you know by having that saved away, you can afford to deal with the majority of surprise expenses. And it is the next step forward in terms of you trying to stack your bread up. So I hope you guys receive that. You know, for those of you who were asking me about what's the next step when you are out of debt or you're about to get out of debt, what should you do next? I hope that answers the question for you. Hope you're satisfied with that answer. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up, y'all. Share this video. You know, I mean, I say it every time, man. Leave me them comments. Y'all know I like to hear from y'all and see what y'all got to say. Hey, listen, speaking of the comments, y'all been leaving me a lot of them. You know, shout outs to y'all because y'all have been leaving me a lot of them. I answer a lot of them. Yesterday and today, I couldn't quite actually respond to all of them, but I would still love the comment or whatever, just to show y'all that I do read them, I do see them. So when I say leave me comments, it's not just me talking. I do like to get y'all feedback, man. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
I could think of a lot of things I could do with 10,000. And I don't mean getting out of debt. I mean, you take that and you make money with it. You put it in the right stock, but it has to be something like, you know, as something that you understand. If you don't understand the stock and you don't know where the company's going, you don't invest in it. That's why I stick to like currencies and stuff like that. I'm just surprised there was only one linen out of all this. I got one lousy linen. Well, I just needed one linen to make a black cape. I can, I guess, go do that. And get more magic regeneration. Probably put health and magic regeneration. That's really all I have on it. Magic resistance would be nice, but I didn't get the spell. You know? Because I don't have the spell, that's an issue. So it looks like I got everything. Oh, there's my horse. I think I'm using him. Alright, so now let's go back to what I was doing over here. Helm. Finish making, I think I have to go over and see what I made. I know I did the armor, and I think I did some jewelry, but I think I need just a cape. I think it's the last thing I need to complete my set.
Just throw the big log on the fire. Gotta have the little ones too. What do you want? Milk drinker?
A guy calling me a milk drinker. I hate that. Pisses me off. I'm gonna do a black cape. And let's double check. Where are we? I have everything marked prime. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of the smithing stuff is still there. So it looks like I have not done any work with jewelry except old stuff. I have to sell some of this old stuff. This is a good one. So I got all the prime armors, but I don't have anything else. This is old. I have to sell this. Pros and minor. Okay, so now we get to work on magic. Let's see. We're at 50 minutes. Go back to the gentleman here. Yeah, man. Like I said, I was training. I was retraining myself to do forex trading. I put a bid in there. I took a position on the stock because I saw a pattern and it was pretty obvious. And then it got late, so I went to sleep and I just left the computer running. And I said, nah, screw it. It's paper money. It's not real money. I had started off with 10,000. Matter of fact, 10,000 regular money. I woke up in the morning and it was doubled. I made 10,000 profit just by going based on patterns. A friend of mine taught me how to find those, but because of the jail thing and the fact that I lost all my fucking money to the court, that's what screwed me over. You know, I got screwed. So anyway, fuck them. Anyway, we're at 51 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and I'll see if I can find something else we can look at, and we'll go from there. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.